All right, here we are after a few weeks of confusion, chaos, mystery. We're here with another episode of our show here. I'm Tyler Sigurdsson, professional strongman out of Manitoba. This is Devin Penner. Wait a minute.
You're much hotter.
Wait, you're hotter. You're a little hotter than Devin is. Your boobs are a little bigger than Devin's. Nope. You'll notice that instead of having Devin next to me, I have the sultry, seductive, scandalous lady of the night, Gian Sarame. She's joining me here for this episode. So there's, like I said, there's been kind of a little bit of hi, Gian.
Hi.
Yeah. Sorry. How are you today?
I'm good. It's been a wild few weeks.
Yeah.
But we're here.
So as you can see, we're kind of in a rebranding, a changing phase right now. I don't even have a microphone stand yet. We repurchased all of our stuff. We are moving forward in Manitoba Strongman in a very big way, in that a very big piece of the puzzle is gone and we have to replace it. Mm-hmm. Which everybody who's watching this by now knows that Devin Penner has retired is a kind of a funny word to use, but effectively retired from promoting strongman shows. Mm-hmm. And to answer some of the messages and questions, no, there's not like bad blood or beef or whatever.
Or
like
a scandal or something.
No, there's nothing like that. We sorry, I just finished training. My brain's still kind of weird. He just needed time. He needed a little bit of space, like a little bit of like just to be with his family more. He's a guy who, if you know Devin, he can never say no to doing something for somebody.
He always will tell us like how much he has on the go and how he needs to step back from this and the other and another thing. And then just the other week, he offered to build me a raised planter for my house. And he goes, name any Saturday, I'll come to your house.
Yeah. And
I was like, no, that's okay.
Yeah,
you don't have to do that.
You're not going to do that.
I'm not letting him do that either.
No.
I don't want him to know where we live.
Let's see if we can. There we go.
Okay.
So he just felt like he needed to take a little bit of time to be around his family a little more. His kids are growing up. They're like 21 and 23 now or something like that. And he's just like, he's missed the whole youth that they had. No, they're like, I don't know, like 12 or 13.
And 14. Yeah.
But they're doing stuff that they want to do with their dad. And it's hard when it's strongman has become this thing where it's so important to so many people. We've really grown like an amazing community with people who are dedicated and they care, and we have to match that dedication. We'd surpass it.
Right.
We have to care more than the people who are taking part. We have to care more than the people who are paying their hard-earned money to us to make sure that our shows are the best that they can be, to make sure that that we're treating the athletes as best we can, and that we're 100% focused on all this stuff. And Devin was just very honest with himself, and he realized that after 6 years of doing that, only 3 years with me, I think 3 years, I guess, 2 years. So 4 years by himself, and those first 4 years were not what we know strongman to be now in Manitoba.
Right.
Very thankless, low athlete turnouts, and because it was just growing, it was getting something started. And I don't mean to sound like it was like the bad old days or something, but it was just an interesting time of growth and change and evolving, and it would never have happened without him. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you remember, we've talked about it with Devin on the show before, but like going to Pansy, Manitoba,
right,
and just lifting on the side of the highway.
Yeah.
Because
that was my first time meeting Devin, and we had nothing to do. All we could do was train, but we didn't really have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
So we ended up.
And Devin really wanted to abide by the COVID rules.
Right, which is crazy. We were doing log press on insulation blocks.
Insulation blocks.
Yeah.
And
it was just weird. Like I don't know.
It was just a different time, and we loved it. And it was really, really fun. And me and Devin kind of realized that like we like this thing enough that we can start to put more of ourselves into it to see if we can help it become something a little bigger in the province. Mm-hmm. And to Devin's credit, that is what happened. And
right.
Him and Danielle, I don't want to leave Danielle out of this. Mm-hmm. Him, Danielle, and all of his people, Janaea, Dean, Brian, Pat, like just everybody out there. If I've forgotten you, I mean you too. Pastor Mike, these guys, they're all lent a hand, and we're all a big part of the scene out there. I hope that they're not gone. I hope that they're not leaving with Devin. You know what I mean? But
right.
Devin just he messaged me. He told me he wants to be at a show to just watch,
Right.
to just coach and watch and enjoy it, and not be losing his head over stress, and to not be concerned about everybody else in that moment except for himself and his family. So that's what we're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
So, what does that mean for? Whoops! I just turned my. That was my phone.
Sorry, guys.
All right. Let's turn the music up on my phone by accident. So what does that mean for Manitoba Strongman moving forward? It like changes a lot. I don't think that it changes a lot in a bad way, except for that we might see less of Devin around. Not none of Devin,
Right.
but less. What's the nice part is that we're going to see other people step up. And it's going to take more than one person to fill the role that Devin left. And it's going to take more than two people to fill the role that Devin and Danielle leave, and et cetera, et cetera. But I feel very lucky that we have such a great crew here of people that were willing to step up and get involved. And I barely even had to ask them. You know what I mean? Like, so we've taken all of the jobs that Devin did, the dozen jobs that he has, and we're starting to delegate those into different things that people can do.
Right.
So we have a new head ref in Manitoba. It's going to be Dan Cadger, pro strongman, one of the more level-headed guys in strongman in Manitoba.
It's gonna be stiff.
Yeah, he's going to be he's going to be a hard referee, and that's what I asked him to be. I asked him to be like to the letter.
Right.
And that's what he's going to be. And I'm looking forward to him having an iron fist over the strongman thing. And that's kind of the funny part about this whole thing is that the funny games are over, ladies and gentlemen. Now you have to deal with the fucking mean guys, the Iron Age guys. Okay, so this face you see here. When you have a complaint about strongman, it's gonna be me telling you to shut the fuck up. Okay, but it's gonna be a lot more Dan. You're gonna see helping out. A lot more Thrones. Thrones has already been a guy who, if you weren't aware, get aware of how much he does for the Manitoba strongman scene, despite not really being a strongman competitor. Like, he's done it before, but he's a powerlifter through and through. But he just cares about strength sports. He cares about Iron Age. He cares about strongman. He cares about the people who are competing in Manitoba in any capacity in any sport. So he's going to be taking on some new roles, and we're very excited to have him because he's probably the most he's like the hardest working guy secretly.
Well, he's the most overworked guy.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah.
Because he puts in so much in the gym while he's here.
Mm-hmm.
Plus the things that he just does in his own time.
Right.
Like today he was telling me how he's working on these new things for nationals. And I was like, man, that sounds really hard. You must be really smart.
Yeah, he makes making graphics for stuff. So if anybody doesn't know, Thrones is going to be doing the live stream for nationals and for Strongest Woman in Canada and the Record Breakers. So it's going to make it very, very watchable. It's going to be very, very fun. He did our nationals in Winnipeg here, and he was really had his hands tied by some of like the Wi-Fi restrictions and stuff that we had in that building. And he's not going to have that this time. Right. And he's learned a lot, and he's fixed a lot, and he's he's made these graphics, and it's going to look like a really, really professional stream, and it is a really professional stream. And it's going to be really, really exciting. But one other person who's going to be taking on a very significant role here in Manitoba Strongman is the sexy, seductress, sultry
Shut up.
lady, Gian. She's going to be taking over the role of the co-Manitoba SCC rep. Are you ready for that?
I mean, I feel like, yeah, because all I've been doing for the last, 4 years is wrangling you guys and trying to herd cats. So I
Yeah.
feel like it's more of the same.
You're right. Like, you've been practiced for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be, I don't want to say easy because I don't know yet.
It's not going to be easy. But
But I feel like it's just what I already know.
Right.
In terms of, communicating with idiot meatheads to get them to do what I need them to do.
Yes.
So it's going to be a lot of that, I feel like.
That's like 90% of your friendships.
Yeah.
Your relationship with me.
Yeah, I got to talk in circles to get to the one point just to make you understand.
Yeah. So that's welcome to the world of strongman. But it's going to be it was important to me that we made sure that you were actually made like a rep for SCC too, because I just wanted you to be acknowledged for the work that you're going to be putting in, right? So it sucks to kind of be in the background too much when you're going to be doing as much of the legwork as you're going to be doing.
Right.
We started collecting more equipment. Brant Ham, the hammer from Altona, has been getting rid of some of the stuff that's in the chicken barn. So we're going to have some new toys for next year for Manitoba Strongman. He's got some really heavy, weird implements. Some classics that we used to have at Winkler back in the mid-teens and the early teens of Strongman. Think of 600-pound anchor chains, 300-pound train wheels, like the Husafel. Like he's a 385 Husafel carry, like just big, ugly, old Strongman stuff that we're gonna start seeing at Manitoba Strongest. We're gonna start seeing it at any kind of pro-ams that we have, probably Gimli. If like these are all things that we're gonna start seeing. The fun stuff. And also, a mix of the standbys that we've been doing for so long. We are going to have to, like, there's going to be a little bit of a transition period, I think, where people are probably still going to be, like, messaging Devin and asking him questions and stuff. But why don't you tell them a little bit about, like, your background and, like, people might not know you as, like, a strongman person, but you've been around and you've been doing this and you've actually competed. You've, like, you know what I mean? So.
Right. I was forced to compete.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, some bad guy. April this year, I like cried for 6 weeks straight just because I didn't want to compete. Tyler assigned people to drive me to the venue because I was going to drive to Fargo with both of our passports and slash my own tires because I didn't want to do it. I don't know. Like I tried competing. I didn't like it. I don't like lifting in front of people.
But you did try it, and that was the important thing to me. I really needed you just to try it.
Yeah.
And it was important for the gym for them to see you do it too.
I don't think it was important to anyone else but you.
No, it was important to the gym. It was important to the gym. But
people appreciated it, but I don't think it was that important.
But more women signed up after they heard you were doing it.
Right, and I said, okay, cool.
So shut up.
More women signed up. I can quit.
No, that's not how it works. But you did it, and then now that we have this new chapter, like this new transition that you're making into this new role, I think that it does help that you've done some like you've been involved in a competition before. You have an idea of how it feels to be an athlete in a competition.
That I do have to say, like being an athlete in a competition is way nicer than volunteering. If I liked competing, I would love that because it's just such an easy day. Like especially in Manitoba, you're
competing easy.
It's
dude.
so easy. Like in Manitoba, you are so taken care of by everybody around you. Everything is ran so smoothly. Like there's no questions about anything. You have a live score sheet that you can check on. You don't have to ask anybody. Like it's been ran so well, and I just hope that we can do the same caliber of quality next year. And I know we will.
Absolutely.
But just compared to like what my days are like volunteering, it's crazy. Yeah. Like volunteering at Nationals, it was 3 16-hour days.
I mean, Nationals was a pretty exceptional case.
I would get up at horrible. Yeah. We got up at 6 to be there for, I don't know.
To be home by 11 or midnight or whatever.
And then we took people out for the after party because we could not show up to the after party we invited them to.
Yeah.
And I had, Nationals, I had 6 Monsters in one day and half a Kit Kat.
that was your nutrition for the day.
Because Lexi was looking really pale, so I shared it with her.
Yeah. It's a different experience to competing and volunteering. And that's why, besides the fact that volunteering makes things easier, I do encourage every athlete to volunteer at least one time. Because you really need to understand the competitive side of it is one thing, but the people who are like helping to reset things, to clean things, to put things away, to set things up, you don't understand that until you've done it.
Right. And
it's really easy to take those things for granted. It's really easy to not understand just how much work goes into it. And one of the things that we've already started doing is we're compiling say like a referee's handbook for Manitoba Strongman. We're going to compile an athlete handbook, and it's going to be just it's mostly things that we already know, but it's going to be just like hard line. These are the expectations of athletes. These are the expectations of referees. These are the expectations you can have of us. And that way everyone's going to understand. We're all going to be on the exact same page. And one of the things that it's not going to be like a rule. You don't have to do it. But one thing I will be putting in the athlete handbook, and I really want to recommend to people, is just go around and shake every athlete or every volunteer's hand and just tell them thanks for putting on the show, because that little gesture really goes a long way to somebody who's been there for hours longer than you've been there. They've lifted the same weight that you had to lift once or twice, dozens of times. They've had to put things away afterwards. They're not eating anything. They're probably not having enough water. And just that small gesture of being like, hey, really appreciate what you did today, that can mean a lot to somebody.
And it does. Like, it really stands out to me when athletes just swing by, say hi, thank you for what you've done today.
There you go.
Got it?
Yeah.
How we doing there?
Just gotta talk into it.
Okay. It does mean a lot just because it's, for me, a lot of it is like I'm stressed out all day.
Sure.
And I'm anxious about it because I want things to go well. I want everyone to have fun. And for someone to just take 2 seconds, it means a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we are lucky in Manitoba. Like, we don't have any, I don't know, drama queens, I guess. Well, I don't know. But
No. I don't.
never mind.
I don't think
Everyone's
that we,
nice to me at least.
I don't think that we do. Honestly, like
Yeah.
I've thought of this before. If we have
Nobody's
any-
entitled, I guess.
No,
is what I'm
I
trying
don't
to
think
say.
anybody. There's personalities.
Right.
There's different personalities that you get along with better than others, and whatever that is. But there's nobody that shows up on the competition day, and I'm like, oh my god, this fucking guy or girl. You know what I mean? There's nobody like that.
Yeah. We've been really lucky, and even people from all over Canada say, you guys have such a good crew. Manitoba has such a nice group of people
Yeah.
that everybody gets along, and we are really lucky.
And the hottest. We're all very sexy. Say it. Not you. Everybody else. We have like Martin and Bones.
Yeah,
These guys are hot.
for sure.
Yep. So we this is going to be like a very short kind of like if you can even call it an episode. It's just something to kind of fill the gaps so that people kind of know what's going on. It kind of was weird to me that people thought that there might be some sort of an issue with me and Devin. Like, we're both very much on the same page about this strongman stuff. Like, there's never
Right.
been any kind of, the only conflict that we've had is like whether you're allowed to like what sleeves you're allowed to wear for a competition and stuff.
Right.
Like, there's not like any big thing or whatever. So that's not the issue. And anyway, we can get into a little bit as what is the podcast, because that's what a lot of people have asked about too, is what's happening with this. So the reason that this is going to be like a short interim thing instead of just like, hey, here's another episode of Strong and Petty, is that myself and Denzel, who's behind the camera right now here, we chatted about it a little bit, and it kind of felt a little sad that it's just like, okay, so we went from Strong and Petty 3 guys to Strong and Petty 2 guys to just me left. And so we're gonna do a little bit of changing, a little bit of rebranding, a little bit of revamping of the podcast a little bit, and what exactly it is. To give you like a little bit of a sneak peek, it's gonna be me. It's gonna be a rotating kind of guest. You know, it might be Jen, it might be Thrones, it might be Dan, it might be, I'd like to get like, you know, Jeremy, Andrew, some of the guys who are the up-and-coming guys in Manitoba Strongman, just to talk about whatever's going on in Strongman in Manitoba, Western Canada. I'd like to broaden our scope a little more to be more about Western Canada too. And also just in like the world of Strongman in general. Like, people seem to like when we talk about the big shows and stuff. So we will definitely talk about those some more still. But we wanted to let everybody know that it's not the end of the show. It's just we're gonna change the name basically, and then it might look a little different or whatever. But we really value that, or I say we, but like Devin up in heaven, we all value that you guys are asking. We value that people are messaging. Like, I don't have access to the Instagram. I purposefully keep it that way. I have too many things on the go right now. But Denzel's told me that we've had lots of messages from people being like, hey, what's going on? Like, is this going to be continuing? And people have asked me and stuff. So it just means a lot, because it's a lot of times it can really just feel like me and Devin are just like, you know, sitting in here, there's just a blank wall behind the camera. So it just feels like we're just talking to a wall sometimes. So it means a lot to hear that people care if we're doing it or not. I know that we're not like the biggest podcast out there. You know, we get a few hundred views every episode, whatever. But those few hundred people who pay attention, they really pay attention, and that means a lot to us.
I feel like you guys get a lot of messages if you miss an episode or if an episode is late. Like, it really ruins people's weekends. Like, I know a few people, the DeLolis, one of them, being like, where's the episode this week?
Yeah. So this is just to give you guys kind of an idea of where we're at right now. I also I wanted to touch on a couple of things that we didn't get to touch on before the impromptu shutdown. Deadlift for Dreams was a huge success. Mm-hmm. We saw $50,000 raised. I think was the last number. I think it was like $100 less than that or something. Yeah, it was like it was so barely under $50,000 that it's absolutely insane. 60,000 was a huge number. Like, it's
like, damn, how many times are they going to Disney?
I feel like it shouldn't feel like any kind of like underperformance to raise $50,000.
Yeah.
Fun stat from just the live stream.
Yeah.
Start to the end.
Yeah.
We went from $46,000 to just shy of $49,000.
Amazing. So,
During the live stream.
in case you couldn't hear that, just during the live stream, which Thrones put up and had the thermometer up there, It went from 46,000 to just shy of 49.
Wow.
That's incredible. So that's
wild.
That's just the power of people paying attention and watching, like
Yeah.
the thing happening. It's just so great to see. We saw some really huge deadlifts. We saw Ariel get a really big attempt on the women's Open Manitoba record. Not quite there. A few weeks of practice and she would have that. It was pretty crazy. It's just just a technique issue more than anything else.
Right.
And Thrones pulling 800 and oh god, he's gonna be so pissed on it. 844
Or 43.
43. Shut.
We can just ask
Sorry,
him.
no, I'm the shitty producer.
No, I
Also, while you guys look this up, I need to clear something up because I've had a few people ask me, "Hey, Jan, why aren't you doing Deadlift for Dreams?" And I said, "Oh, because I'm fucked up from the accident." And you talked about the accident on the podcast, and you made it seem like super chill and nothing happened. And people were like, "Oh, Tyler made it seem like it was just like a little fender bender." I ended up with whiplash and
Yeah.
a mild concussion.
Yeah,
That's why I wasn't lifting because Tyler was super chill about it.
843 was the number.
843. Okay, very good.
Congratulations on the
Good job,
the
Thrones.
biggest deadlift in
Very proud
Manitoba
of you.
history. Biggest deadlift in Manitoba history right there. But yeah, I might have downplayed it a little bit because I wasn't super affected by it.
Yeah, like he texted me 4 days later. He goes, "I feel great," and I was like, "Wow, good for you.
I did. Yeah.
Love that for you."
Yeah. My neck is not. It's not perfect. I did have a little bit of.
Right.
A little bit of
yeah,
something
but
to it.
you're good though.
But compared to you,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've been going to physio.
See, what I didn't realize was that Jan was in the back of this big SUV, and there was no headrests
Yeah.
back there, so she got a good jolt from that one, and so I got.
And
I
the
got,
car ended up under ours.
Yeah.
He hit us so hard.
Yeah, Jan was like looking down, seeing him down there. We were so whatever I got, she got it much worse. So, that's why she didn't lift that day, but she was still very helpful and really carried her
Killed
weight
it.
that day.
Still
Absolutely
killed it.
So Deadlift for Dreams, huge success. We also have coming up on November 9th here in Winnipeg, we have Big Bad James Jeffers coming in, national Canadian grip champion. One of the best grips in the world. That's not like you know that I don't like to say nice things about James Jeffers, but that's I got to do it here. He's coming in to basically show us how to run a grip competition. At the same time, he's going to ref it for us. And I love the sign up that we're seeing for this. We have our producer Denzel. He signed up. His brother is signed up. Just guys who are not in any way involved in the competing in strength sports.
I thought you were gonna say not in any way in shape at all. It's like,
No.
damn, go off.
Guys who are not typically the faces that you would see competing in strength stuff, which is exactly what I wanted. I said to Denzel, my absolutely perfect way that this would feel, like the vibe of it, whatever, would just be like you and your buddies like trying different things in the garage while you're like over having beers on the weekend. You know what I mean? Like just like seeing who can just pick up this weird thing the best, you know?
Right.
It's like there's gonna be winners and everything, and that's cool. But I really just want this to be an opportunity for people to try things they've never tried in a very low pressure, low barrier to entry kind of thing. And it seems to be going that way, and I'm really, really excited. We also have on November 23rd, while myself and Gian will be in Iceland, which makes me sad that we'll be missing this, but that's just the way it's got to be. We have the WRPF meet Deep Freeze. It's a push-pull meet happening right here in Iron Age. And I tell you right now, you fucking powerlifters, if you guys don't start signing up for this thing, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. I love the Cornerstone guys. They suggested that we run this thing, and I thought it was an awesome idea. And then this motherfucking MPA, CPU, IPF bullshit about who's allowed to compete where starts popping up, and everyone's nervous and afraid. So if someone's telling you that you can't compete somewhere, don't listen to them.
In the same sport that they're, yeah.
I can't believe that needs explaining. Don't listen to them. If there's a group or a federation, like, what do you think would happen if everyone was just like, "Whoa, we're gonna compete"? They're gonna ban everybody from they can only ban you from not giving them money. That's all they can do. All they can do is make you not give them money. Do you think they're gonna fucking do that? That's so insane.
They also didn't specify what sport. Like what?
Yeah, it could be. It's a really insane rule that people are actually listening to, which blows my fucking mind. But anyway, the sign up has taken an uptick. We've had luckily the strongman community, shockingly enough, are the ones who are stepping up. We've had a bunch of the strongmen in our gym who are in their off season just be like, fuck it, I'll just jump in and give it a shot. It's going to be a fun show. We're expecting a few really big lifts that day. Ladanian's going to have a big deadlift, I would think. Scott's going for a 500-pound bench press, which would be the heaviest. He's already got the national all feds record for his age and weight class. He smashed it by 20 pounds or something at the last meet, and this is going to push it even further. His training is saying all kinds of good things about how that's going to go. So if nothing else, it's going to be like a relatively fast show compared to most powerlifting meets, and it's going to be less boring than most powerlifting meets.
Way cooler. For
yeah,
sure.
it's like we have a deadlift bar, and we have it's untested, which is always cool.
Well, and you can talk and you can have
music
fun.
and plus it's an Iron Age, and Iron Age is a cool place.
Yeah.
But if for nothing else, and if you want to see a fucking 500-pound bench press happen in competition, where else are you going to see it? Not the MPA. I'll tell you that right now. No, sir, you're not going to see it there. But we're very, very excited to host that. So please, if you're at all considering signing up, we just had Jordan Hanna sign up, one of the old dogs. I shouldn't say it like that. One of the veterans of the sport, I should say. I'm very excited to see him on board for that. We've got, like I said, a bunch of our strongman guys who are behind us here, that are gonna fill some of the spots and hopefully hit a sweet deadlift and maybe even surprise himself with a cool bench. And then, so me and Jan will be in Iceland at that point. We got Dan going to OSG.
We got Martin coming with us.
Martin's coming to Iceland too.
You got to buy your ticket.
Yeah,
You're making me nervous.
Jocelyn and Gord will be going to OSG. We're very excited to see how Team Manitoba does there. It's going to be a really, really cool show.
Martin's also going to OSG.
Martin's going to OSG to volunteer. This fucking guy, man, I'll tell you. He's the man. So next week, we're going to have our whole thing. We're going to be set up. We're going to have our new show title. Mm-hmm. We're going to have our cool new flashy intro. We're going to have a new picture on our YouTube. And it's going to be whatever the new show is. We haven't decided on a name yet. But whatever that looks like, we're going to have Michael Thrones on, and we're going to talk the World Deadlift Championships that are happening this weekend. He's got he's going to have a lot of insight and thoughts on it. He pays attention as close as anybody else that I know does, and it'll be really fun to chat with him about that. There's all the buzz and the chatter about who's going to pull 505, if it's going to happen this year at all. Thor's not going to be there, but there are a bunch of guys who are just really, really knocking on that door. Ivan Makarov's a guy that you think of when you think of that. Rauno Heinla is another guy too. That's very possible for him. Matt Ragg could have a really good day and do something like that. It's gonna be really, really fun to watch, and we'll have a little bit of chat about it next time. Gian, do you have anything that you'd like? I know this was all me, but just whatever.
I don't know. We got it all.
You got everything we want to talk about?
Pretty sure. I wanted to talk about the accident thing, and that was it.
Okay, so you got that off your chest. That's good.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
Thank you.
So again, thanks for paying attention. Thanks for giving a fuck. And next week we will have something new for you guys, and we're really looking forward to it. From myself, the new SCC rep here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
Goodbye.